along. And then, Laura, the big news from this weekend was the announcement of Derek Carr's retirement. Derek Carr, the Saints quarterback, who's been dealing with a shoulder injury that would require surgery if he wanted to keep playing, announced on Saturday that instead he is going to retire from the NFL after 11 seasons. He had $30 million in guaranteed salary coming his way this year, but has decided that is not worth it in terms of continuing his career and fighting through another shoulder surgery and recovery from that. So Derek Carr hanging it up after 11 years in the NFL.
Yeah, congratulations certainly on a great career by Derek Carr. But with Carr out, that leaves 3 quarterbacks on the Saints roster, and they have 0 wins in the NFL between them. Look at that, 3 zeros, goodness. Shuck, okay, he's a rookie, so he hasn't had a chance yet. And Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener are a combined 0-7 in their careers. Kellen Moore, the head coach, talked this weekend about getting his young QBs up to speed.
I think naturally it's just reps. It's just reps and experience. And, again, there's going to be plenty of adversity and, moments of failure through a preseason and a training camp. And I think it's all about growth opportunities and continue to grow and continue to develop. And, Dak was a rookie in Dallas when he started, and he was obviously a 4th-round pick and probably wasn't anticipating being the starter that year. And so these guys all come from different paths and different navigations. And, we just want to give these guys an opportunity to go compete. And we feel like we got 3 really good ones.
The Dak comparison, an interesting one. Graz, what is the plan for Kellen Moore and the Saints at QB right now?
Open competition, Laura, and obviously Tyler Shuck, the 40th pick in this year's draft, will have a good chance to win it. This is a new coaching staff. They don't have any history with Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener. I think everybody enters on equal footing. Tyler Shuck, a highly experienced quarterback in terms of college football, and it's entirely possible he'll be ready to be the starter. It is a young quarterback room, as you mentioned, so don't be surprised if you see the Saints go out and look for maybe a veteran quarterback to add to the mix. A lot of times when teams are breaking in young quarterbacks, they like to have a veteran in the room to help the young guy along. I know Tyler Shuck, maybe not as young as some of the other young quarterbacks entering the league, but still inexperienced and could benefit from that. So they could add a veteran, but right now it's an open competition between these 3 young guys.
Yeah, Tyler Shuck, I think, is in probably the pole position because of his draft status, taken near the top of the 2nd round, and his pro readiness, which is part of the reason why I liked him, and I thought he made sense for a team like New Orleans who needs a rookie to come in and potentially start right away. But I'll say this, Spencer Rattler was not given a fair chance last year. I know most people didn't watch Saints games, but he was playing behind an unbelievably banged-up offensive line. It's a big part of why the Saints offense went off a cliff, and Chris Olave was not healthy for the vast majority of his starts. So he was really set up to fail. And I'm not saying that he deserves to be their starter or that he should win over Shuck, but I'm saying when Graz says this is a quarterback competition, I believe him. I think that Spencer Rattler does deserve a chance to compete. He does have athleticism, toughness, arm strength, and I'm interested in seeing how this shakes out because I think Kellen Moore has a good history when it comes to working with young quarterbacks, and there's some interesting ones here.
Yeah, I want to take a different approach talking about the Saints, a kind of 30,000-foot view of this organization. I think now would be the perfect time to hit the reset button if I'm the New Orleans Saints organization. We've been talking about them being in a salary cap situation for years now. They went out and they got Derek Carr, hoping that, having a guy coming over from the Raiders who's, put up some pretty good numbers over his career, that he'll help elevate the organization and be a viable team in the NFC, contending for a championship. That failed. And so if you're the New Orleans Saints right now, you have a new coach, you got 3 inexperienced quarterbacks. To me, this would be the great time. This would be the perfect time to clean up your books and get your fiscal, your fiscal house in order.
Yeah, we've talked a lot, D. Wood, on this show about how they have cap issues. So I see what you're saying. The Saints win total, by the way, moved from 6.5 to 5.5 at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Only the Browns with 4.5 have a lower win total for next season. So maybe they just outsmart us all or they reset. Still to come, best games of the 2024 season. Today we go back to one of the most incredible endings of the season in this Ravens-Bengals matchup.
I just know it's going to be a dogfight. Burrow's a great quarterback. Chase is a great receiver.
We've always been the Ravens. We were the Ravens last week. We're going to be the Ravens on Thursday night, right? Now he throws over the middle and is caught on the run. Chase at the 45, angling toward the far sideline at 30, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown! Jamar Chase.
Lamar from the shotgun. Drops to throw. Lobs for the end zone. He's got a man. He's got Andrews. He's got a touchdown. Oh, this house is on fire. Burrow going deep.
Jamar Chase is putting on one of the great shows in Bengals history.
Now watch this little Steph Curry little jump. And look at the follow through. Touchdown Ravens.
Throws it into the end zone. Chase makes the catch. And it looks like the Bengals will go for 2 with 38 seconds to go to try to win the game.
Burrow throws to the end zone. It's incomplete.
We came out on top, so that's all that matters.
Oh, man, I can't wait for next season, okay? What games will join that list next season? The full schedule for the 2025 NFL season is released on a primetime special. It's coming your way this Wednesday night, 8 Eastern. That's just 2 days away on ESPN2. An annual 2-hour special. We'll all be here to talk about all of it as we find out the games with you. All right, rookie camp underway for the Jags, and we've all been curious to see what position that man is playing, Travis Hunter. So far, he's been playing wide receiver a lot. We know Liam Cohen and the Jags have a plan in place. And Hunter was asked about how he's been splitting his time between the two units since he was drafted last month.
I've been already getting integrated to the defense. I've been doing offense and defense. The past 2 days, I just came out here and did offense. So much different, you just got to get used to it. It's just a lot of different type of calls, but other than that, the defense is pretty easy. Just got to get used to the offense. There's longer calls and, concepts are different. The organization expected a lot out of me. Expect me to come out here and play right away, so I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to get out there and play right away.
Now, here's why it might make sense for him to play more receiver on this particular team. Trevor Lawrence last year struggled throwing to vertical routes, ranking 20th or worse in yards, completion percentage, and touchdowns. Travis should help in that department. He caught 5 touchdowns as a receiver on vertical routes last year, 10th most in the FBS. Roz, what is the Jags' plan for Hunter to learn the offense and the defense?
It's basically kind of what you heard from him. They want him to learn the offense, make that a priority first. I think that's what they gave him the most to do in his first week there. And then they'll feed him the defense as he goes along. Given the price the Jaguars paid to trade up and select Travis Hunter second in the NFL draft, they expect him to start adding in aspects of the defense as he went along. You heard him say there he feels like the defense might be a little bit easier to pick up, and if the Jaguars agree with him, then I think you'll continue to see him sort of major in offense throughout the offseason and learn the defense as it goes along.
Let's focus on the offensive side. Mina, how does the addition of Hunter help Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, it helps in a number of ways. He catches everything. He's a contested catch machine. You put up that vertical number, the lack of vertical offense last year, him and Brian Thomas Jr. combined, it's just going to be so much more explosive. But I'll single out something in particular I think that he'll be excellent at in this offense, and that's screens. Yeah. So last year, Liam Cohen's Bucs offense was the best screen offense in football in expected points added. Travis Hunter, if you watch his tape at Colorado, was fantastic off of screens, which they used a ton of. He's so elusive in the open field. He's so explosive. He's so fast. And that gives Trevor Lawrence an answer against pressure. It can be an extension of the run game. So not only will he help him throwing downfield, but it'll help him in the short game as well. And I think that's going to be huge.
Yeah, to that point, Mina, he'll be great after the catch. He forced 27 missed tackles on receptions last year, tied for 4th most in the FBS. So shifty out there. All right, check this out, this post from a woman who met Hunter on his flight. You may have seen this circling around social media, but this is really cool. She says, I met the nicest young man who sat next to me. He offered to put my bag in the overhead compartment, help me with my tray. Anyone would be proud to have him as a son or a grandson. So polite. People were walking by saying, congratulations, great job. And she's like, well, who am I sitting next to? And he smiled and said, I'm Travis. Yes, I was drafted by the Jags. I already told my sons I want his jersey. I know we've said this a few times on our show, but Travis Hunter truly is a special human being, and it's fun to see that play out just as he's going about his regular business. Just really cool to see that story. All right, you guys, with Brown's rookie camp going on, it's hard to look away from that quarterback situation, okay? Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, you see him.
Xin chào các bạn, hôm nay mình sẽ dâng các bạn căn giản. Bây giờ sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn. Đây là chai nước nha, chai nước khoáng. Đây là riêng cho các bạn các bạn. Dạ các bạn.